Safe to say LeBron James did not like Mark Schwartz's line of questioning there. Welcome back here live at the finals. Leigh Ellis from the Starters joining us. I'm Jared Greenberg, and we've got a lot more to get to after the Warriors win an absolute wild game one. Now again, J.R. Smith, right? The game's tied, an opportunity to win the game. You have to get a shot off there. Leigh, J.R. said he knew that they were tied, right?
That's what he said, but I think he's probably trying to save himself a little bit there. The way that the play unfolded here, he does have a chance there to get at least a shot up. Now, Kevin Durant, we know, is likely to contest that shot anyway, but you figure in that situation, you just got to throw it up and hope it goes in, maybe even get a foul and get back to the free throw line. But he clearly, to me, doesn't think they're calling a timeout because he's trying to run out the clock. That's what it looks like. And you could tell from LeBron and particularly Ty Lue in the press room afterwards, almost lost for words in frustration.
Yeah.
Not just that play, other plays that sort of led to that moment. This was the Cavaliers' chance to steal a huge game in this series. They weren't able to do it, and they're going to look back at this and think one or two of these plays goes our way, and maybe we're up 1-0 instead of down 1-0.
Yeah, I mean, let's put this in perspective as we will continue to break down what went wrong for the Cavs, but this is going to go down as one of the great performances we've ever seen from LeBron James on a list that is, novel-worthy with the amount of pages of great performances he's had. 51 points, accounts for more than 70 of their points. And he didn't even have to play all 48 minutes, right? He got several minutes of rest in this one.
Yeah, and you know what? You're just talking about his whole career. You could always talk about just these playoffs. He's had those incredible performances. But, I heard Kenny the Jet Smith talking about it just before we came on here, saying he has to forget about this physically. Like, this is a great performance, but it's not going to count for anything. They have to go out there in Game 2 and just pick up exactly where they left off, playing with that same intensity, playing with that same purpose. And LeBron, you know that he's going to have to perform, maybe not score 50 again, but he's going to have to put up probably 40 to give them a chance in Game 2. And they just have to shrug this one off and think it's gone now, we can't get it back, let's focus on Game 2.
Well, what they would like to get back is not only that 11-point lead they had in the first half, which was evaporated by the late 16-5 run to end the first half, but then twice in the final minute of the game owning a 2-point lead, including with the Warriors having the ball, as we showed you, KD with the ball, and LeBron said he had read this as well as any play he's ever defended in his career, and he got on the wrong end of the whistle. Well, not at first, because it was whistled an offensive foul. And again, this is why the officials in the final 2 minutes of the fourth quarter overtime are allowed to review a block charge to determine positioning and to see if there's any other extracurricular activity that goes on in the play. And they determined, and here's where the Cavs are going to have a hard time arguing. It's a block.
Yeah, he's moving. He's sliding into him there. He's not set. And the rule is unclear, I think, for a lot of fans. I don't think a lot of people knew you could actually then overturn the rule. You can go and check to see where his feet are, but then to actually overturn the call surprised a lot of people. But the NBA officials have tweeted already saying, basically, it was a block.
Let me read you here in the reviewable plays sheet that is available for public consumption, for the media, for the players, the coaches. Rule number 12, which was modified in terms of replays being allowed back before the 13-14 season. Part of what they're allowed to review, it says here in Part 3 of this rule, whether event was correctly called after a review was called and whether the defender was outside the restricted area but was not set when the offensive player began his upward shooting motion, or if the offensive player led with an unusual knee, foot, or wipeout, regardless of the location of the defender.
Yeah, well, based on that rule, then they made the right call. Because that's what happened. They overturned the call because the initial call was incorrect, and they went back, reviewed it, and they realized that LeBron wasn't set. So they had to then change the call, give Kevin Durant the 2 free throws, and goes and knocks him down. Now, there's a lot of bitterness, obviously, in the mouths of the Cavaliers players right now. You could tell simply because we've heard all the press conferences and that, and they're very, very upset. But really, at the end of the day, game's over, and they have to move on from it.
Hope your vision's better than mine, Leigh. You got an eye test for me here?
Yeah, right.
We'll get you more from the Pool Reporter report coming up. Yeah. We also got a report coming from the Cavs locker room from Kristen Ledlow. We'll do that after we come back. Short time out. Hear from the participants of this one. The Warriors escape with a win after a Cavalier meltdown.